This A-Team adventure is called
Bugs in the Box.
You can read along with me in your book. You will know it is time to turn the page when you hear this.
In 1972, a crack commando unit was sent to prison by a military court for a crime they didn't commit. These men promptly escaped from a maximum security stockade to the Los Angeles underground. Today, still wanted by the government, they survive as soldiers of fortune. If you have a problem, if no one else can help, and if you can find them, maybe you can hire the A-Team.
The A-Team van cruises through the night, away from the city. B.A. carefully keeping it moving at a speed exactly on the limit. The last thing they want is to attract the attention of a zealous highway patrolman. Hannibal Smith sits in the forward passenger seat, thoughtfully drawing on his cigar, while Face and Murdoch sit behind, relaxing and looking forward to the night's action ahead of them. They clear the outskirts of the city and at last turn off the main highway along a deserted side road. B.A. checks in the rearview mirror.
You want private? You got private.
Face is not surprised.
I can't see anyone else wanting to be out here this time of night.
Sure.
Hannibal agrees.
And if they do, they can only want one thing, to follow us. Seems like we're in the clear. Let's move it, B.A.
You've got it, man.
With relief, B.A. pushes his foot down on the accelerator, and the pent-up energy in the van's engine surges into action, speeding the A-Team on their way to their rendezvous. They stop at a rundown motel and park off the road. Hannibal, taking an automatic rifle with him as a precaution, walks off alone to a room at the back.
If you hear any loud noises, come running.
He checks to make sure there is no one around. All is silent, apart from the distant howl of a lonely dog. Gently, Hannibal taps on the door. There is no reply. He tries again. Still no answer. The window curtains are tightly drawn and no light spills out. Hannibal calls softly.
Miss Olson? Miss Olson, are you there?
Something must be wrong. Holding his rifle at the ready, Hannibal uses his right foot to kick in the door. The cheap lock cannot withstand this onslaught, and the door swings open. Hannibal is surprised to find himself face to face with a girl who points a deadly-looking automatic at him. But meanwhile, the other members of the A-Team have heard the sound of the breaking door. B.A. grabs a rifle and runs off with Face and Murdoch to come to Hannibal's assistance. They arrive at the motel cabin to find that the girl has put down the automatic and is sitting at the table talking with Hannibal. Murdoch looks a little disappointed.
I thought you had trouble, Colonel.
Not says you'd notice. Just a small case of mistaken identity.
The girl is nervous and apologetic.
I'm sorry to give you so much trouble, and I'm so glad that you came. But when I heard the knock on the door and someone calling my name, I thought it might be the crooks who were after my uncle. I was scared and afraid to answer.
Not too scared to hold that gun mighty steady on me when I came in.
I'm sorry, Mr. Smith.
That's okay. I'm just glad you didn't pull the trigger.
It would have been all right. I don't know how to use a gun.
Now I'm frightened.
B.A. fixes the broken door and keeps guard outside while the girl explains why she needs the A-Team.
My uncle is a research biologist. He's been working on developing a new form of deadly virus, but he doesn't have official permission, so his work is illegal. Somehow, some crooks found out about it and are blackmailing him into handing it over to them. He's scared to go to the police.
So, what do you want us to do?
Steal the virus before the crooks get it.
Then they'll be after us.
Exactly. You can deal with them much more easily than my uncle.
Okay, Miss Olson, you've got yourself a deal. Tell us how we get to your uncle's lab.
They all pile into the A-Team van and set off for the coast. It is still dark when they arrive at the laboratory. It is quite small and situated close to the sea.
My uncle uses seawater in his experiments.
I thought he might be a keen fisherman.
They park the van well away from the building and approach cautiously on foot.
Not a very big place.
My uncle works on his own. It's all he can afford.
Face nods.
It may be small, but it's well secured by the look of it. How do we get in?
Face is about to walk forward to investigate when Hannibal sees something and pulls him back.
I'll say it's well secured. Look at that.
A beefy guard is patrolling outside the building.
You didn't tell us the lab had security guards.
It doesn't. He must be one of the crooks.
So, he got here ahead of us. Probably means they have the virus already. But it must be still in the building, otherwise there's no point in having a guard on it. Okay, B.A. He looks about your size. Take him!
B.A. creeps over to the guard and leaps on him. They are well matched and a great fight develops. To and fro they struggle, with neither seeming to have the upper hand. Then B.A. gives a mighty heave, and the guard is driven back against the window. Once again, B.A. lunges, and the force is so great that they both crash through the window and into the room beyond. Murdoch smiles.
That solves the problem of how we get in.
They all hold their weapons at the ready, expecting the sound of the fight and the breaking glass to bring more guards running. But there is silence, apart from the sound of the sea. After a moment, Hannibal gives the order.
Okay, fellas, let's get in there. See what's cooking.
They clamber carefully through the broken window. B.A. stands looking down at the unconscious guard lying on the floor.
Lucky he broke my fall. That floor is hard, man.
Almost as hard as your fists, B.A. But who is that guy?
Murdoch points to a man sitting tied to a chair on the other side of the room with a gag in his mouth. B.A. hadn't noticed him, but the girl runs over to the man with a cry.
It's my uncle. What have they done to him?
When the gag is removed, the scientist is able to reassure his niece that he is all right, apart from some stiffness caused by his bonds.
Oh, I'm glad you guys got here. They've got the virus.
When the music stops, turn your cassette over.
Do you know where they've taken it?
It's still here.
Still here. So what's the panic? This place is too small for them to be able to hide it.
The scientist looks about him nervously and rubs the sore places left on his wrists by the ropes.
I'm afraid I've not been altogether honest. You see, I've been engaged in illegal research. Work on deadly viruses is very carefully monitored from the top by the health agencies. I didn't want to disclose my discoveries to anyone until I was ready. The crooks advanced the money to build a secret lab. This place is only a front.
So where's the real lab?
I'll show you. Follow me.
The scientist moves a cabinet to reveal a trap door in the floor. He raises it, and they all follow him down the steps that lead from it.
These steps go down to a passage which takes us out under the sea, and that is where my secret laboratory is built.
What are we hanging around for, then?
Face is in a hurry.
Let's get the virus and get out of here.
The scientist puts out his hand.
Wait! They have another guard down there, outside the main laboratory.
I'll deal with him.
Hannibal takes an automatic from his pocket and sets off down the passage. The guard thinks it is a friend coming.
Is it time to go?
It's time for you to go, friend.
Hannibal hits him hard, and the guard falls, dropping his gun. With the guard safely disposed of, the rest of the A-team and the scientist and his niece join Hannibal in the undersea laboratory.
Right, Professor. So where is this little box of bugs you're missing?
It's not exactly missing. It's over there, in that cabinet.
Oh, so let's go. I don't care for this place. I like to keep my head above water. Let's grab the virus and get out of here.
Murdoch starts to go for the cabinet.
Stop!
The scientist is scared.
Don't touch that cabinet! I heard the crooks talking. The box containing the virus is connected to an explosive device. They intend to blow it up and disperse the virus into the atmosphere unless the government pays a ransom of $20 million.
Is that bad, man?
Bad? That virus could kill half the population of the U.S.
That's bad.
Okay, Murdoch, stand aside. Let me have a look at this little baby.
Hannibal goes over to the cabinet and very carefully inspects the bomb mechanism.
Bad news, folks. The best I can do will give us 1 minute after removing the box of virus before this whole place is blown sky high.
Face turns pale.
So, what do we do?
Hannibal sticks a cigar in his mouth.
Simple. I give you all 10 minutes to get clear while I smoke this cigar. Then I disconnect the bomb and carry the virus out. I should be able to get out in 1 minute, but don't forget to leave the trap door open.
They all leave the laboratory except for Hannibal, who has arranged to join them later in the A-team van. Then, after a leisurely smoke, he disconnects the bomb from the box of virus. He carries the box quickly, but carefully, along the undersea passage and up the steps, through the trap door, and into the ground floor building on the shore. He has just got there when the sea erupts in a gigantic explosion as the underwater laboratory and everything in it are blown sky high. But the virus is safe. Hannibal breathes a sigh of relief and puts the box of virus down carefully on the table. He's about to go to the door to call out to the others that all is well, when somebody leaps on him from behind and knocks him to the floor. He forces himself over and finds a masked man holding a revolver to his head. The masked man speaks in a fierce whisper, which seems familiar to Hannibal.
You're not so clever as you thought, Colonel Smith. You've saved the virus this time, but we shall just have to take it away and set it up someplace else.
That'd be a pity. Anyway, I don't think you're going to be able to.
What makes you think that?
Because when you jumped me, you kicked the table that I put the box of virus on. You jarred the box to the edge of the table, and it's just about to fall to the floor.
What? It'll kill us all!
The masked man turns quickly to try to stop the box from falling, but it's a trick. The box is perfectly safe, and Hannibal now has the opportunity to knock the gun from the man's hand and grab hold of him.
So, Mr. Mystery Man, the tables are turned. Let's see what lies beneath the mask.
Swiftly, Hannibal pulls off the man's mask.
Well, well, well. What a surprise. Fancy meeting you here, Professor.
The masked man is none other than the scientist they have been trying to help.
Not a very pleasant way to thank me for saving your precious virus.
No, but I had to do it. I told the others I was coming back to help you. You see, I was so afraid that once you had the virus, you would give it to the authorities.
You are right, buddy. A deadly little package like this doesn't belong in the hands of a private citizen.
As I thought, you will hand it over. Now that my laboratory is destroyed, it will be many years before I can develop a new strain.
And that's just as well. Now walk ahead of me back to the van, and don't do anything silly. Remember, I'm carrying the virus.
They arrive back at the van just as a jeep with 2 men in it approaches. The professor recognizes them.
Those are the 2 crooks who went off to send out a demand for $20 million.
These guys are not just crooks. They're terrorists. They're well armed, and they're after us. Step on it, B.A. Make tracks for the desert. And I mean make tracks.
The van soon outdistances the Jeep. The terrorists find the tire marks of the van and keep following, just as Hannibal has intended they should. When the van is well out of sight of the following Jeep, it stops. Hannibal gets out and plants a small mine in the desert, knowing that if the Jeep continues to follow them, it will explode the mine. The van proceeds on its way, but Hannibal remains, waiting behind some scrub. The Jeep careers crazily along, and the driver doesn't notice the mine until it is too late. It explodes and hurls him and his passenger out onto the ground. They have lost their guns and stagger to their feet. Hannibal steps out from his hiding place and covers them with his rifle.
Going someplace, you fellas?
The van returns, and the A-team tie up the two terrorists and also the biologist. They leave them in the shade of the scrub. Beside them, they put the box of virus.
So long, you guys. We'll let the sheriff know where you are in an hour or two. You can explain to him what you intended to do with that box of deadly virus.
Hannibal turns to the girl.
Sorry about your uncle, Miss Olson, but we really can't leave guys like him free to go about bugging everybody. Get in the van. We'll take you home.
And the A-team van heads back to the city.